Hi everybody, it's Jeanette Vilda. So today I am sharing this gorgeous little journal I made using my Cinch. So this is a Cinch journal. And the papers are by SS Digital Studio. It's her Pumpkin Harvest papers. Really gorgeous. I have to say I love the colors in this collection. Really pretty. And to me, I don't know, there's certain collections kind of speak to you to get to work in a certain way and others in a different way. This just seemed so simple and crisp that I wanted an album that matched that simplicity of the papers. And so there's not a whole lot of fanciness going on in here. It's really just showcasing the papers. It's kind of went down the road of like a mini album as opposed to like a, I know it says journal, but it's more mini album, although I did make sure there was plenty of places in there for you to write, but lots of places for pictures. And lots of pockets and big pockets, so you can just stuff all kinds of stuff in there. So again, this is a Cinch book. And the covers are really just what I did was I printed out, there's two really pretty portrait background papers that you can use. I used them a lot to for the background of my tags and journal cards and whatnot. But here what I did is I printed out each of them, just glued them face to face, and then ran it through my laminator. I have a Xyron cold laminator, so just ran it through the Xyron. It's still flexible and looks like I need to re-glue that. That's wanting to tap off a bit. I was really messing with it, so it's not that usually the glue sticks pretty well, but I was kind of doing some stuff and I think I knocked it so that now it's all wanting to come off. But anyways, yeah, just laminated it, and then like you can see, I took, this is actually, and sorry, my husband is working in one of our rooms, redoing the ceiling in there, so if you hear that in the background, I apologize, that's him working in there. But this is actually taken, the bottom piece, the brown piece, was taken from one of the journal pages, and I fussy cut it out. I had used the bottom in another part of the journal. And then this is one of the labels that you get in the kit. The back page is also just a laminate, so there are two laminates. And then I had, so I've used ribbon a little bit within the book, and I had a little bit left over. So I thought I'll just make a nice little pretty on for the cover. And since it's not overly bulky, it doesn't get in the way of, you know, the cover or when you move the pages with the spiral. Because that's the thing, is if you fill up, it can get difficult to open your book up. So this is the other background paper, really pretty. So what I did, the pages of this book is the craft cardstock in varying degrees of color, and then also a green. So like a craft, and then there's sort of a grayish craft, almost like a blue craft, and then a green craft, and really green craft. So that's what I used for the pages. There's also some vellum pages in here. And then I printed out the journal, and then just cut the individual pages, you know, from the journal and used them on my craft cardstock. I think it gives a really pretty background framing for the pages. It really lets them, I think, pop. And see, so this is the first page. So this is what the page looks like. And like I said, I printed this one twice so that I could also cut out the pumpkin to make it into a pocket. And then, of course, like I said, I had this left over, so I used that for the cover. I don't like to waste bits. As a matter of fact, when I was done with this, I had printed out the collection, and I had, you know, a few pages left, or pieces of pages left, and a couple of the ephemera items. So really try to use everything. Including when I do any kind of, if I double print so I can add elements to it, I use all the leftover pieces. So if I didn't use that piece, you know, to make an element, then I turn the rest of it into a journal card. In this case, it's kind of like a little bookmark on the leftover craft paper. And then this is one of the tags from the kit. And like I said, it's some paper there. And then on some of them, I left them blank. Didn't do anything to them. This allows you to put some pictures on. Journal. You know, for instance, this page would be a really good one with a nice black pen to journal right over the image. And like I said, there's a few vellum pages. I really like to also journal on vellum. And now granted, when you turn it over, of course you can't use this side if you do it that way. But I think it's neat. Just have the writing on the vellum and then see it backwards on the back. It's really pretty that way. I like it. And I just took a couple of the elements from the ephemera pieces and backed it on both sides. Now the other thing you can do is, and I have this on another page, if you don't want to line them up like this, because I don't like to see the white of the back. So I like to line them up, or double print on the back of the element, and then when, like I said, I have this example on another page, then you'll see that coming through the vellum, and I think that's really pretty too. Let's get another very pretty paper. And this is the green, or this is kind of like light green craft paper. And then here, so there's, like I said, 4 different colored cardstock papers, and so each one of them I made a little pocket page. And they open like this, and it's a pretty big pocket. So this one is holding a few elements. We got, so in the ephemera, you get this wonderful little card, and I just folded it to make a little book, and it opens like this. And then one of the journal cards from the kit. And this is part of one of the backgrounds that I just used what I had left over to make a little journal card. And these are just mounted on the cardstock. Gives them stability, also makes them pretty. And so these, again, are, when I printed out the journal pages, like I said, most of them ended up being cut and placed on one of the pages, but some of the other side or some doubles I didn't use in that manner. I used them on my pockets. So this is one of the journal pages. Okay, so here again, double print and then made a little tuck spot out of the label, which a little ribbon label, and a couple of the tags from the kit. Now here, I will open this up and take a look here. We just took one of the journal cards and then fussy cut some elements. I think these may have been from some of the tags. I took a lot of elements from the different tags. And this just makes a little place for me to hold this little book. So again, this was a card in the ephemera. I just made it into a little book. And just normal printer paper made into a little book. So you have lots of place here to journal. You can even add pictures into that book. And this little ribbon holds them in place. Now you could do this also with magnets. Just put the magnets behind the card on the back and then on the back of the journal. When I do that, what I recommend is multiple, and depending, like this size of journal and the weight of it, I would use at least 2 to hold it on, because otherwise it could, depending on if you actually put pictures into it or just journal, it could get weighty and then it would fall out. So if you use magnets, like I said, think about what you're encouraging to it for it to be used as in terms of how many magnets. Like if you expect pictures to go into it, each picture is going to add a little bit of weight, which will pull on those magnets. And so then if I had put like a little album that I intended them to put pictures in, I would use maybe 4 magnets to ensure that it's held on. And also think about the fact that this will flap, right? So here, with the ribbon, I have it nice and held, so it's not going to, fly anywhere. So if I were using the magnets, I would either put the magnets on the front if I'm planning on having them it be a writing journal. Added paper will be in between my magnets and the page. So that, again, I would use 4 in that case. If I'm going from the front, that will hold the front cover down. Otherwise, you have a tie or maybe a belly band kind of loop that goes around and holds it together. Because when you go like this, you don't want that flapping open because it will just fall out, or it could snag on any element you might have on the other page. So, okay, enough of that. Keep looking at the pretties. There's a couple of pockets in the kit that are these cute little pumpkins. And this is one of the, so there's a couple of little rectangles that you can use, and I just cut mine into a little banner. So, and then one of the two, there's 2 really big tags. Oh, that's the correct side. And again, just some leftover of the background paper made into a little journal card. There are 2 really big envelopes in the kit, and I used both of them. Just added as a page in the book. And this is, I believe this is from one of the tags or pages. Anyways, I just fussy cut it out from one of the elements. And that has a little magnet in it. Oop, and it's nice and strong. Holding that close. Because again, when you're turning the page, you don't want this flapping open and then you might bend your paper. So I like to use some method of holding it closed. You could have put a ribbon through there, something like that. And then inside here, this is one of the leftover pieces of the craft cardstock, and I used one of the little angled pockets that's available. It just makes a cute little journal card because you can journal on the back. Very cute. That's in there. Pretty. I love the colors. So this is probably the only element in here that isn't from the kit. So this is, it just needed a little something. So I found this in my washi tape, but it's actually cloth washi tape. So it's like a really shiny cloth. And then this is one of the elements from the ephemera. And these 2 are actually envelopes from the ephemera kit. And what I did was I just cut off the tabs on the side that you would fold in to make an envelope. And then, so you see it, let's push that down there, it flips open. And so you've got places here. And then you also, of course, have here if you want to add any elements. But you can see this is the little flap to close the envelope. And I just took off the 2 flaps on the side that would have folded up to make the envelope. And of course this one is the same. It's the other envelope in the kit. And then this little guy just holds them closed. Okay, isn't that pretty? So this is the second pocket. Again, using some of the leftover background paper. This is one of the journal cards from the kit. One of the leftover bits from the background. And then another of the journal cards. And there's a lot of room in here, so there's still room for a lot of other things. This is another of the vellum sheets. And again, this one is one that I didn't, reflect on the back with another element. This one I just let the back shine through. I believe now it's raining like crazy. And so if you're hearing that, that's the rain. Wow, having quite the shower out there. Isn't that pretty? I love these pumpkins and the colors. It's the third pocket. And here we have, is that it? Yep. Have a little journal card. It's upside down. And another little book. So it's another of the pages from the ephemera. And again, it just kind of comes out like that. Pretty pumpkins. And then here's another of the pockets. I love this, the little fussy cut. And then from the ephemera, this cute little birdhouse filled with pumpkins. Love it. And then another, again, I believe this is one of the pages, journal pages that was left over. So make a card out of it. And the big tag. This is the second envelope. And again, this is another of the little rectangles from the ephemera. And I did chomp the corners to make it round. And again, there's a magnet holding that closed. It's quite strong. And again, little journal card with one of the angled pockets. And another of the little tags in there. And the fourth and final big pocket. And some background paper there. One of the journal cards. And I believe this is actually a journal card. Again, plenty of room in those pockets. They're quite big. And all these pages you can put pictures on, add a little piece of paper, do some journaling if you're a big journaler. Lots of ways to use those. And the other vellum piece, took one of the little tags, pretty cute up there, and then the other side is another one of the tags, real cute. And here we have a little pocket, but it's what I did when I put the pocket down was glued a little line down the middle so that these can go in and not, fall over on themselves. And this was fussy cut from one of the background pages. And we have two of the tags from the ephemera. So you can see it's not going to go down there. I love those suitcases. And then the back page, again, laminated. You can see it's still bendy, but it gives a nice firmness as a cover, but isn't boy, can I say that word? Overly bulky. He's so pretty too. So that is my little Cinch journal, the Pumpkin Harvest collection. Again, all the links for that collection will be down below. And definitely go take a look. Gorgeous papers. Really gorgeous papers. And I think the other thing I like about many of her collections, but again this one as well, is if you saw some of the background pages that I used for here, it has this really pretty, it almost looks like snow. So what I like is not, obviously a whole bunch of pumpkins does not necessarily sing, Christmas, for instance. But there are definitely elements in this collection, like this background paper, that you can use for other seasons, like Christmas. That would make a really good background paper for some Christmas papers. And so that's one of the things I like to always, you know, if you think, well, make one book on, or one season, but look for pieces like this where you can use these in a number of different ways, different seasons, different collections, mix and match. So I like that many of her collections have pieces that are very versatile, can be used across everything. Put that back in where she belongs. So I hope you enjoyed that. Leave a comment, a question if you have one. I'll get back to you. And please like and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.